Payton Tolle delivered 100% in his major league debut on Friday against the Pirates. The kid was electric, and Fenway was buzzing, man. 5 1/3, 8 strikeouts. He absolutely shoved. The only runs he gave up was because the bullpen gave up inherited runners. He was electric on Friday night, man. And Red Sox fans on social media, in the ballpark, the ones I saw this weekend, the family members I saw this weekend, everyone was talking about Payton Tolle. And he is a huge part of this Red Sox future. I do wonder, though, what is he going to be for you down the stretch? Okay, because I can't help it. I'm worried about this right now. And what I saw on Friday night was a kid who was ready for the big leagues, but is he ready to be pitching every 5th day in a real stretch drive here? The answer for me is no. Not because he's not good, but he's thrown 80 pitches one time in the last 2.5 months, and that was on Friday night in the big leagues. He has not pitched on regular rest, 4 days rest, all year. And really, in his life, because before this, it was college. He wasn't doing that either. And so he's not going to pitch on Wednesday because they're going to push him to Friday and make it a week's rest. And that's totally understandable. That's the thing here. You're talking about a kid who was brought up through 4 different leagues this year. Of course he doesn't throw a high pitch count. Of course he doesn't pitch on regular rest. Like that's like an of course kind of thing. But he averaged 95 miles an hour on his fastball on Friday. 14 inches of vertical break. A 1.1 height-adjusted vertical approach angle, if you're into those kind of things. Sorry, that was in the minors. On Friday, averaged 96 with a 1.4 HAVAA. 7.5 feet of extension, already in the 95th percentile of Major League Baseball. That is gross. That is nuts. And you saw it in this game on Friday. He didn't throw anything but fastballs. Anything. In fact, when asked about it with his minor league coaches, what does he throw? A fastball. And he actually does have a pretty good changeup. He's working a slider into his repertoire and will probably be throwing a sinking fastball. But he is a straight 4-seamer, 7.5 inches of extension, 96 miles an hour, dotted, try and hit it. And I love that, man. I do. But is that someone you can pitch every 5 days for the next month, let alone the playoffs? You've got to get in there first. That's where I wonder if Payton Tolle can really keep that up. And I've seen experts talk about it, that you need him to be a starter in this postseason run, in this stretch drive. You need him to be a starter because he's going to be a starter. He's been a starter, and he's going to be that for you in the future. La-di-da. Maybe I'm just being too old school, but I certainly remember John Lester pitching out of the bullpen in his first postseason. And then, oh yeah, by the way, starting a World Series game. You know, I remember Xander Bogaerts playing third base in the World Series as a 20-year-old. Had a pretty decent career as a shortstop after that. I don't think he needs to be tied down to being a starter, because I think if you do that, you're limiting both him and your team. Because if I put out these two scenarios in front of you, okay, one is that he can be a starter, but he can't throw more than 80 pitches and he can't throw more than once a week. Or you could put him in the bullpen and he's a guy that can give you a couple of innings, or he can give you an inning or two, and you go out there and you say, you know what, Payton, we got a big situation here. You need to go in there and just cut it loose. Throw 97, empty the tank. It's one inning. And if you're feeling good, we might ask you to do it again tomorrow. But we're not going to ask you to throw 85 pitches. We're not going to ask you to go 6 innings. We're not going to ask you to see the same hitters 3 times. Go out there, 7th inning, cut it loose. Keep this at a 2-run game so that we can get to Whitlock and Chapman. How does that sound? To me, that's where Payton Tolle can be the most effective down the stretch. I'd still love to see him starting some games here in September. But when the calendar moves to October and you're actually playing postseason baseball, I think he can really help you in the bullpen when you have a 4-man rotation. And you know what? If it needs to be a situation where, like Nate Eovaldi in the 2018 postseason, where he needed to start a couple games, he can do that for you. He's not going to be bothered by the moment. I mean, the kid is so easy to root for. You know, he's like an edge rusher with a mustache, and he's getting animated every play. You know, he's pumping his fist. He's having fun with it. It's on the top rail of the dugout. Tom Selleck just grooming that mustache, Magnum PI in the Fenway dugout. I don't think what you throw at this kid, I don't think it's going to bother him. I really don't. So, yeah, he's going to be a starter for the rest of his career. He's going to be a starter next year. But if the options are, I get a starting pitcher who can't pitch more than 5 innings and it's once a week, or I have a guy who can get me key outs, 3 to 6 outs a night in the bullpen, cutting it loose with a 96, 97 mile an hour fastball that looks unhittable, then for right now, in the month of October 2025, I'm taking the latter. And really what I want to see is if Kyle Harrison can pitch for this team. The only prospect that can do something from that Rafi Devers deal, because Jordan Hicks can't, and you already traded the other guy, Tibbs. So that's what I really want to see as well. Payton Tolle and Kyle Harrison on this roster, and work out over the next 4 weeks what their roles are going to be come October. That's why you release Walker Buehler, because there's no real other good reason why. I know he sucked, but he sucked last year, was pretty damn effective in the postseason. I don't like giving up on veteran starting pitchers this close to the playoffs. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. What is Payton Tolle going to be for this team this year? And how great is this kid going to be after that? Let me know in the comments section below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We are so close to getting to 4,000 subscribers, and we need your help getting there. We come at you live every weekday, high noon Eastern time, live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. I'm Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. Check out the other videos on the channel, and we will see you tomorrow on another edition of a little ditty that we like to call The Cam Show.